Hi, Sue Wilson. I've got a lovely card here using the Roxy die. And what I want to share with you is how to make this die even a little bit larger than the actual size of it. Okay, so we'll be showing you what we're using. We have the Get Well Soon sentiment from our mini expressions, and I'm going to actually cut this so you can use the individual words. The layered carnation is what we're going to be making flowers with. Here is the Roxy die from the Frames and Tags, and it's a lovely kind of asymmetrical die, but there's all sorts of things you can do with it. And we're going to start off by doing some embossing with the Brambled Rose, which is an 8x8 embossing folder. And I think I'll start with the embossing and work my way up. So I've got a piece of coconut white card that is 5 3/4 inches by 6 inches, just a little bit offset from square. The Brambled Rose folder is kind of just a random pattern, so you can pop it in there anywhere. And the sandwich is just the raspberry adapter plate for this one. So now you can see the lovely embossed detail from that. What we're going to do is put a little bit of an edge around that, and I'm going to bring in my Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear Glue. And I've got one I've done earlier, so I'm just going to show you one side and you can see what I've done. I've just put a bead of the glue all the way along the edge, just sort of gone in and out of the embossed area there, so it's a high-low sort of area. It's not going to be perfectly straight, but pop that down. And then I'm going to bring in some ice snow, and this will give you a really lovely look to it. So bring a piece of paper here. This is actually vellum, and we're going to just pop that over. So what I would do is do all the way around the edge and then glitter it all at once, and that'll dry in a few minutes, and it'll give you a lovely look like this. Just edge your card and give it a nice little bling. So let me tidy this up. The glitter doesn't seem to stick to the vellum, so it's a lovely way to use it. Pop that to the side. Now I want to create a little bit of a border around my base piece. So I've got a piece of aqua card here, and this one is 6 3/4 by 7. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape on this, and I'm just going to pull off a longer piece than I need and work it around the edge. Just lay it down right on the very edge of that card and just sort of smooth it down so it touches all the card. And I'm going to turn it and do the next piece same way. Give it a little spray, or just touch it down to the card. And here, there we go. And the last side. There we go. Now what you want to do is trim away your edges. So I just use the edge of the card here. I'm going to go in, pop it off like that. And get it as close as you can there. You can always trim it in a paper cutter if you feel like you're not getting it quite straight too. There we go. And this last little bit here. Okay, so I've got the tape laid down. I'm going to bring back my vellum, and I'm going to use the Frosted Sparkle Glitterbitz for this, which is a lovely white glitter with different sizes of glitter particles in it. So it just gives a really pretty edge to your card, and that will stick really nicely to that tape. There we go. And you can use some of this on there. Okay, so you've got a really pretty glittered edge there, and we can just pop this back into our container. There we go. Move that to the side. So now I'm going to go ahead and put those into place to create my background. So I've got some mounting foam here. The paper pierced edge with a blue aqua, excuse me, an aqua card mat. And that'll bring out the same colors in the card. Pop that on first. Let's go that way. There we go. Get it the right way around. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of mounting foam to the back of this piece. And we're going to raise it up just a little bit. Let's do this. There we go. This is our embossed background that's got the nice fire or ice snow edge to it. Just a nice little bling to bring in. Okay. There we go. That should fit in there. Just right inside that tape. There we go. Okay, so now we can work up from that. So the next thing I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut 2 of the Roxy die out of white. I backed it with the aqua card and then cut the center out. Now what I'm going to do is cut away a portion of this. So there's kind of a natural little curve here, so we're just going to trim that out. And there's this natural little curve up here, and we're going to trim that out. There we go, tidy up that little bit. And you can even use a little bit of sandpaper just to keep that nice and smooth if you prefer. So I'm add some mounting foam to the back of these. Got the one already done, so let's pop this on. There we go. And here, I'm going to keep it just a little bit back from the edge on that one. Okay. So now I've got a piece of card as a backing for this. It's probably going to have to be trimmed a little bit because of the irregular shape, but we can kind of sort of see what we need to do if we lay these down. I'm going to pop this one on just right about at the edge here. So I've got just a little bit to take away at the top there. And then I want to take and turn this one the exact opposite way and just barely overlap that. And it'll create a larger frame for your sentiment. Just a little bit there and there. Okay, so let's use the scissors. We can tidy away any of this extra bit just by going underneath at an angle. Okay, that won't show. There we go. A little piece here. Nip that away and a little bit at the top here. So you've got a really nice little frame, and I've got a backing now that I can put my sentiment onto. So let's cut a piece of mounting foam here. And just put that on with some foam. A couple little pieces will go. There we go. Peel my backing off, and that will fit right in the middle here really nicely. Now on the Get Well Soon die, what I've done is, because I wanted the words to go at a diagonal, I have taken and cut a couple of these and cut them apart. So I've got the Get and the Well done. I'll show you what we do on the Soon. So it's up to you how you approach it. Sometimes it's easier to cut from the back, but I'm just going to take the bottom of that curl onto the S and then put my scissors up here and create the back of the S out of that letter. That's why you have to use 2 to do this with, because you can do the first and the last word out of one and then do the middle word out of a second one. So I've got Get Well Soon, but I've cut into a little bit of these letters, so I can't use the well out of that one. Okay, so now we're going to do some glue. Put those into the center. I'm going to pop it on with a little bit of spray glue. And I'm going to go ahead and just lay these down. I've got the Get right there. Tell you what, I'm going to put the Soon on, and we'll put the middle word in last. Sometimes I find that a little easier. And Soon. There we go, and I should be able to fit this one in okay. And you can use a little pokey tool just to place it down and move it around if you need to. There we go. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to set that aside for the moment. We're going to show you how to make a flower. Now these are the layered carnation. So what I've done is I've cut a bunch of these and I've inked the edges with some Aqua Adirondack ink. So what I want to do is just spritz them, get some water on all of them. And you give it a second just to kind of work into those fibers. And then I bring them back up and I sort of just pinch them between my fingers and give them a little bit of a scrunch. Takes just a second, but you need to go through and do each one of these 4 petals. Okay, see what, I'm not going to use that one. I don't think I need it. And we will give it a little bit of a tidy and dry that area. And just to help speed it up a little bit, I'm going to bring in a heat tool and try and give each one of these a little bit of a hit with the heat tool to dry them out. That should be enough. The glue won't adhere if they're wet though, so you definitely want to make sure they're good and dry. So let me just give them a second. And we also want the glue to get a little bit tacky, so I'm going to go ahead and pop it on the middle here. Now some of these centers have popped out and some haven't. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It was they were designed with a little center in case you wanted to use some stamens through the middle. Just thought that would make it easier. So give those a second. Okay, these should be good and dry, and that glue should be good and tacky now. So there's a couple ways you can do this. I like to use a mounting foam pad here and then a pokey tool. So I'm going to bring them in and just offset them like this on top of each other and then give them a second. Okay, I can bring 2 more in and offset them like that, and we're going to just stick those together a little bit too. And a couple more here. Oops. Offset them. I mean, everybody's got their own little method of doing this. This is the way I like to do it. Just give them just a little bit of time. So I can go back to this one, which is starting to probably get good and tacky. And this one, and I'm going to pop that on top. Just sort of offset it a little bit more. And take this one, I've got one extra over here. Pop that on there. That's probably pretty good. And put that one in the center here. And I've got a little bit of glue in the middle. You can either put a pearl in there or you can scrunch it up a little tighter, and that will kind of hold the center up a bit more. Either way is fine. But you've got a lovely little flower there. And you can also go back in after you've done this and add a little bit more ink to the edges just by hitting it with a smoothie like that. So it gives that sort of faded look to it. I think that's really quite pretty. Okay, now that one I would let set aside to dry for a bit before I put it on. I've got another one I've used or made here, some ones I've done ahead of time. So we'll go ahead and put those on. And I've got 2 for the lower corner, so I'm going to use this one, which is a little bit bigger down here. We'll seat that one. And I've got a couple of smaller ones here. Let's do that. And the nice thing is they really do become quite rigid when they dry, so they really will take a lot of, you know, if you're going to post them through the post, don't worry about it because they will stand up. They're really, really good about that. And then we can add some leaves from the set if you like. We can just pop them under. I'll do a few here. I've given them just a little bit of a bend to give some dimension to them. And there's a couple different sizes here, so you can use some of the smaller ones if you prefer around the smaller flowers. There we go. Do that. And I'll put a couple more on this top one. That should be enough. Just a nice little accent. Just tuck it under there. And let's do this one. There we go. And you can arrange it however you like. It's just to kind of show you what I do. And there you have it. Beautiful layered carnation with the Roxy die. We've made it big enough to accommodate the sentiment done diagonally, and I think it's a lovely card anybody would like to receive. Don't forget, our YouTube channel has so many more videos for you to watch. If you like and subscribe, we'll send you an email when new ones are loaded on.